Do I need to do any sound checks? All right. Thank you for coming this afternoon. It's somewhat of an unfortunate event and occurrence for you to have to be here. I just left our annual Police Officers Memorial Service where it's an event where we honor and remember all of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in York County and were killed in the line of duty. In 2022, 49 police officers were shot and killed in the line of duty. So far in 2023, 18 police officers have been shot and killed in the line of duty. And everyone in this room should know that in 2018, we lost one of our own, Mike Doty, in the line of duty. Since then, I have vowed to do everything in my power to ensure that the York County Sheriff's Office does not lose another police officer in the line of duty. Because of that vow, I have certain expectations for the deputies that are under my command. And there's a wall to my right that talks about respect, integrity, honor, service, character. Those are all values that we espouse at the York County Sheriff's Office and that are at the top of the list of things that I expect from those who work here. I expect them to protect the public, their fellow officers, and themselves. Finally, when they're done working for the day, I expect them to go home safely, the same way that they came into work. Please hear me, and I cannot say this more clearly than what I'm going to say. If a suspect pulls a weapon on a man or a woman wearing the badge that says the York County Sheriff's Office, that situation is not going to end well for that suspect. And that's what brings us here today. I have never done this. I don't want to do this. I've never held a press conference about litigation that I haven't even been served with yet. I believe in our justice system. It's not perfect, but it is the best system we have for resolving issues like this. It's where the matter should be handled, and that's in court. This case should not be tried in the media or on social media. I feel forced to address this suit out of what I consider to be the proper venue, and that's court, because Mr. Mullinax and his attorneys decided to call their own press conference to disseminate selected information about this incident to the public. Now I have people from all across the country calling and emailing people in my office saying things like, "I hope you get cancer. You all should have been abortions. I don't know why you haven't committed suicide." And me personally, I've been called an anti-American pig. All because hand-picked bits of information, certainly not the full story, have been given to the public. I'm not going to get into a back and forth about the allegations that are contained in this lawsuit. What I am going to do is simply state the facts that were uncovered during SLED, the state law enforcement's independent investigation into this incident. And I want to point out that every officer involved shooting that we've had under my command, and I've had 9 in 6 years, every single one of them has been investigated by the state law enforcement division, not us. We do an internal review to ensure that no policies were violated, but the criminal investigation is given to a completely independent agency to investigate. So, on May 7th of 2021, we received a call for service in reference to a well-being check on Trevor Mullinax, who had expressed suicidal ideations and was armed with a knife. Dispatch informed responding deputies Mullinax had active arrest warrants through the York Police Department for a violent felony as well as malicious injury to personal property. When we responded to the location, we found Mullinax sitting in the driver's seat of a pickup truck, and a woman named Tammy Beeson, who we later identified as his mother, standing outside the closed driver's door. The deputies were dressed in their uniforms and arrived in 2 York County Sheriff's Office marked patrol vehicles and provided verbal commands for Mullinax to show them his hands. In her interview with SLED, Tammy Beeson stated that she saw Mullinax reach and grab a firearm when deputies arrived at the truck. Ms. Beeson stated specifically in her interview with SLED that Trevor Mullinax, quote, reached and he grabbed the shotgun and he pulled it up, and that's when they, meaning the deputies, saw it and started shooting. Deputies state that they saw Mullinax with a firearm in his hand, and all 4 deputies discharged their department-issued firearms. Mullinax pointed and or presented a firearm at the deputies from inside the vehicle when they encountered him. Mullinax sustained multiple gunshot wounds and was transported to the hospital, where he informed medical personnel that he wanted to shoot himself, but then decided to have the police do it, and he grabbed the gun when we arrived. Mullinax is prohibited from possessing a firearm or ammunition pursuant to the Federal Gun Control Act of 1968. Mullinax was charged with pointing and or presenting a firearm by the South Carolina State Law Enforcement Division, not the York County Sheriff's Office, as a result of their investigation. So there you have it. 4 deputies approached an individual that was wanted for a violent felony who was armed with a knife and experiencing mental distress. As those deputies approached, this individual pulled a shotgun. Fearing for their safety, these deputies discharged their weapons at the individual. I'm tired. Maybe you can tell, maybe you can't. I'm tired because police officers today are forced to take on so many roles that should not be the responsibility of law enforcement. And then we face criticism for how we handle these responsibilities that are forced upon us. There's been a huge cry for law enforcement reform, and many good things have come out of that. South Carolina recently adopted minimum standards for law enforcement agencies. It is a law. I think that was a good thing, something that's needed, and something that was supported by all 46 sheriffs across the state. But what is also needed are more mental health resources. Can you tell me where the public outrage is over the lack of resources for people that are in mental distress? Why are police officers the ones responding to those in mental health crisis? I'm going to give you some statistics relating to mental health. From 2018 to 2022, the Sheriff's Office responded to 395 suicides or attempted suicides. That same time frame, we conducted 1,256 well-being checks. And from 2018 to 2022, the Sheriff's Office conducted 4,039 transports for mental health patients. For those of you that are sending emails and making phone calls wishing cancer and death on law enforcement officers, I challenge you to focus your energy on making a positive impact in our society. Call your legislators. Tell them we need to do better for our communities and our society. Tell them to find a way to make mental health resources readily available to those that are in need. Our county is experiencing a mental health crisis, and it should not fall to police officers to be the first line of response to those in mental distress. I want to end on this. For those of you who are out there making snap judgments about the actions of police officers, hiding behind a computer screen with your thumb courage on Facebook, Instagram, social media platforms, the York County Sheriff's Office is hiring deputies every day. Please put in an application so that you can see firsthand what a police officer faces on a daily basis. That will conclude this press conference. There will be no questions answered, and any further comment will not come from this office. It will come from the counsel who is hired to represent the sheriff's office in this matter. Thank you.